Have you ever walked into a home and instantly felt like your heart just exhaled? Not because it was fancy, not because it was spotless, but because the air itself whispered, "You're safe. You're home." I used to think cleaning was only about scrubbing floors and wiping counters. But then, one quiet afternoon after I retired at 68, I fainted in my living room. The doctor said my home was too closed up, too still. The air was heavy, stale, slowly suffocating me. That day changed everything. I remembered the old ways, habits my grandmother swore by, simple, timeless rituals that made her home smell like peace, not just cleanliness. And today, my friend, I want to share 5 of those secrets with you. Older women like me rely on secrets to keep our homes smelling amazing every single day. For us, at 60, 70, even 80, these lingering smells aren't just unpleasant. They quietly weigh down our mood, irritate our lungs, and steal the peaceful comfort we deserve. That's why I turn back to the old wisdom. Simple habits that gently refresh the air, naturally, safely, every single day. And now, let's begin with the first secret. Number 1, the open window morning reset ritual. Did you know that the air inside your home can slowly make you tired, even sick, without you ever noticing? That's precisely what I learned, the hard way. After my little health scare that afternoon, I started paying closer attention to my home. Not just how it looked, but how it felt. I'd wake up, sip my morning tea, and notice this strange heaviness in the air. The windows were always shut tight, especially in winter. I thought I was keeping the cold out and protecting myself, but instead, I was trapping something far worse inside. As we live, breathe, cook, and sleep, our homes quietly collect invisible pollutants, carbon dioxide, cooking fumes, dust, pet dander, and microscopic mold spores. Over time, the air inside becomes heavier than outside, even in the middle of the city. My grandmother used to say, "Let your house breathe every morning, just like you do." So, I started a simple little ritual. Before breakfast, I crack open the windows, even if it's chilly or raining, just for 5 or 10 minutes. I let fresh air sweep through, carrying away the stale heaviness of yesterday. Sometimes, I turn on a small fan by the door to help the air circulate gently. The difference? Immediate. Suddenly, my home feels lighter. The rooms smell brighter. My head clears. Even my dog Max seems calmer and more playful. If any of this sounds familiar to you, if you've ever walked into your living room and felt that invisible heaviness, stay with me. The next few secrets might surprise you even more. And here's the beautiful part. This habit doesn't cost a thing. No sprays, no machines, no expensive gadgets, just fresh air. Nature's original purifier. Even doctors agree that better ventilation can reduce respiratory irritation, improve sleep quality, and lower indoor allergy risks. And for us, at this stage of life, anything that helps us breathe easier is worth holding on to. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. A few minutes each morning to care for the air we live in. That's why I call it my morning reset ritual. And now, let's move on to the second secret. One that hides in plain sight, but quietly holds on to the smells we forget. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 2, the forgotten fabric trap. Have you ever caught a faint, musty scent in your home, but couldn't quite figure out where it was coming from? That was my mystery for years. After I fixed the air in my home with my morning window ritual, things did feel fresher. But every so often, especially on humid days, there was still something. A whisper of oldness. It's not unpleasant, but it's not quite right either. At first, I blamed the weather, or maybe the neighbor's cooking. But deep down, I knew the problem was closer. Then, one afternoon, while visiting my daughter Emily and her newborn, I noticed how wonderfully clean her home smelled. It wasn't perfume. It wasn't an air freshener. It was just light, fresh, pure. I asked her secret, and she smiled, saying, "Mom, I wash my curtains, pillow covers, and throws every few weeks." That's when it hit me. I had forgotten the fabric trap. You see, fabrics are like silent sponges. Every time you cook dinner, every time Max curls up on the couch, every time you close the windows on a rainy week, your curtains, cushions, blankets, and even the upholstery quietly absorb the air around them. Over months, and yes, years, these trapped odors layer into something you can't easily see but can smell. And they quietly build up because we don't often notice dirt on fabrics like we do on floors or counters. I'll admit, I hadn't washed my living room curtains in over 3 years. So, I started my fabric refresh ritual. 4 times a year, once each season, I gather up everything soft that can be washed. Curtains throw pillows, couch covers, blanket throws, table linens. I use a gentle detergent for washable items and add half a cup of baking soda and sometimes a few drops of lavender essential oil. Nothing too heavy, just enough for a soft, clean scent. For delicate fabrics, I bring them to a trusted cleaner. And even for items I can't wash, like certain upholstery, I vacuum them thoroughly with the brush attachment, then lightly mist them with a vinegar water solution to neutralize any lingering odors. The change was immediate, but also lasting. When friends visit, they often say, "Margaret, your home feels so open and peaceful." And I simply smile, knowing it's not a secret. It's just old wisdom coming back to life. It's easy to forget these quiet collectors of scent. But once you remember, you'll never look at your curtains or throw pillows the same way again. Next, let's talk about a hidden source of odor that most of us overlook, even though we walk right past it daily. Number 3, the invisible garbage zone. Mistake. We all take out the trash. But have you ever noticed that the kitchen still carries a faint, sour smell even after it's gone? That's the part many of us miss. I certainly did. For years, I was diligent about emptying my trash bags every evening. I thought that was enough. The trash was out, the kitchen looked clean, and life continued. But now and then, I'd walk into my kitchen first thing in the morning and catch a little whiff. Not strong, not terrible, but off. A subtle sourness that seemed to live there, quietly refusing to leave. At first, I blamed last night's dinner, or perhaps the compost bin. But as days went by, I realized something more persistent was hiding. Then one Saturday morning, as I was pulling out the trash bag, my hand slipped slightly, and I caught sight of the bottom of the bin. There it was. Tiny spills, coffee grounds, sticky juice from fruit scraps, and maybe even a cracked eggshell from weeks ago. Even though I had changed the bags religiously, these little leaks had quietly soaked into the plastic liner at the bottom. You see, our trash bins are like silent sponges too. They collect spills, moisture, and bacteria that cling long after the garbage is gone. And the worst part? Those bacteria, like Pseudomonas and Bacillus, love dark, moist environments. They multiply quickly, releasing gases that create that faint sour odor we try to ignore. From that day on, I made a simple but powerful change: the weekly bin bath. I pull the trash can out onto the back porch every Sunday afternoon. I fill it with warm water, a splash of white vinegar, and a little squirt of gentle dish soap. Using a long-handled brush, I scrub every corner, including the lid, which often hides the most grime. Then I rinse thoroughly, let it air dry, and place a fresh bag inside. Sometimes, I even sprinkle some baking soda at the bottom or drop in a small cotton ball dabbed with eucalyptus oil, just a touch, to keep things fresh throughout the week. And here's what surprised me. Once I started doing this weekly, that lingering sour smell disappeared entirely. Now, my kitchen greets me with the smell of morning coffee, not the ghost of last week's leftovers. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes, the most stubborn smells don't come from what's inside the bag, but from what we leave behind without realizing it. Next, I want to share a secret my grandmother swore by. One that fills your home with warmth and comfort using a simple pot on the stove. Number 4. The gentle power of simmer scents. Have you ever wished your home could smell like those cozy holiday mornings without baking anything? There's an old-fashioned secret for that. And it's simpler than you might think. When I was a little girl, my grandmother's house always had this beautiful, comforting smell. Not overpowering, not artificial, just warm and welcoming, like a gentle hug the moment you step through the door. I used to think she had some fancy air freshener or expensive candle. But one day, as a curious child, I peeked into her kitchen and saw a simple pot quietly simmering on the stove. Inside were a few orange peels, a couple of cinnamon sticks, some cloves, and just a splash of vanilla. The steam carried the scent through the house, gently filling every room. Decades later, after my little health scare, I remembered that moment and brought the tradition back to life. Today, I call it my simmering heart ritual. Whenever the house feels heavy, maybe after days of rain or when I want to lift my mood, I fill a small pot with water, add simple, natural ingredients, and let it simmer on low. In winter, I love using orange peels, cinnamon sticks, whole cloves, a drop or two of vanilla. In spring and summer, I switch to lighter blends: lemon slices, fresh rosemary, a touch of mint or lavender. Sometimes, I use my slow cooker instead of the stove, letting it work quietly all day while I do my tasks. If you're finding these little secrets helpful so far, stay with me. The last secret coming up might be the one you've never considered, yet it makes one of the most significant differences. The beauty of summer scents is that they don't cover up odors. They replace the entire atmosphere of your home. Unlike artificial sprays that try to fight bad smells with chemicals, these natural ingredients gently purify the air while creating an emotional comfort that goes far beyond scent. And here's something interesting. Studies show that certain smells, like cinnamon, citrus, and vanilla, can reduce anxiety, lower blood pressure, and even improve cognitive focus. Who knew that a simple pot of warm water could do so much? Friends often ask how my home always smells so peaceful. I simply smile and say, it's just a little pot of love on the stove. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Now, let's move to the final secret. One most people forget entirely, yet it holds some of the worst hidden odors in the house. Number 5. The silent killer of hidden mold. Your home might look spotless, but do you know what could be quietly growing behind your appliances, stealing your peace and health? I didn't, until I found it. One spring afternoon, as part of my new cleaning routine, I removed the washing machine from the wall. It had been years since I looked back there. The moment I did, my heart sank. Tiny dark spots, a bit of moisture, that unmistakable musty smell, Moldavian. It wasn't dramatic, but it was enough to quietly release spores into the air, affecting my breathing, energy, and sleep, without me realizing why. For those in our 60s and 70s, mold isn't just unpleasant. It can be dangerous. Our lungs are more sensitive. Our immune systems are slower to react. Even a small patch of hidden mold can trigger coughing, allergies, sinus issues, and fatigue. And mold doesn't just hide behind washing machines. It loves dark, damp places we rarely check. Behind refrigerators, under sinks, around bathroom baseboards, inside closet corners, beneath potted plants, inside air conditioner vents. The problem? We often clean what we can see, but forget what we can't. That day, I made a promise to myself. No more ignoring the hidden zones. Now, once a month, I schedule my hidden zone check. Armed with a flashlight, a pair of gloves, and a little spray bottle of white vinegar mixed with water, I check every corner. I pull out appliances. I check behind the furniture. I wipe down seals around my front loading washer, where moisture loves to hide. I run a dehumidifier if I notice any dampness. If I find any early signs of mold, I clean it immediately, gently but thoroughly, before it can spread. And you know what? My breathing improved. My home felt lighter and cleaner, not just on the surface, but deep in its bones. You see, absolute cleanliness isn't always about what sparkles. Sometimes it's about the things you never see, but always feel. And now, as we've walked through these 5 quiet, powerful habits, let me leave you with one final thought. A simple truth about what makes a home feel truly clean, comforting, and alive. At the end of the day, my friend, a home isn't made perfect by how spotless the floors are. It's made peaceful by the little habits we pour into it daily. Looking around my home now, I don't see chores. I see care. The open windows, fresh fabrics, clean bins, the gentle simmer on the stove, and the quiet battle against hidden mold are all tiny acts of love. Love the space that shelters me. Love for my well-being. Because at our age, we've earned the right to live in spaces that don't just look clean, but feel like peace. If this video comforted you or gave you even one small idea to try in your home, would you do me a small favor? Click that like button, subscribe to Life After 60 Daily, and share in the comments. What scent always reminds you of home? Is it fresh laundry? A hint of cinnamon? The smell of morning coffee? I read every comment, and I'd love to hear your story. Take care, and take care of your space. You deserve it.